Hey everyone, Daniel Whitlow here again. Today, thought I'd do another video kind of about inspecting tractors and finally getting around to making a video about this John Deere D that I purchased early in 2024. So in my last inspection video, I think one of the closing remarks I had was when you go to look at a tractor, don't just fall in love with it and ignore, what to look at and whatever. I mean, it's okay in some aspects if that's what you want to do. And this tractor is kind of an example of that. I went to buy my 4020 high crop, and this guy was using this as a piece of lawn art. And I looked at it when we pulled in and I said, I gotta have it. And so I threw out a number, and the guy took it, walked away from it. Hindsight looking at it, probably wasn't the best choice, but it's a cool talking piece for now. But we'll go ahead and I'll take you around the tractor, show you some things now that I've obviously had it home for 9 months. I've looked at it a few times, various things. I took my boroscope to it, so that'll be the number one thing in this video, is just looking at the outside of the tractor. Has some issues, but the big thing came when I used the boroscope to look inside, so we'll talk about that. I just did kind of a non-invasive inspection of this tractor because since it's sitting outside, I didn't want to like open up the crankcase cover or the transmission cover or anything like that, because as soon as I break that open, then if I'm to do right, I would seal that back up so as not to get water or anything in it. So any inspection I did would be the same as what you could do if you're going to look at a tractor, and that's just like going in through the spark plug holes, through the oil add to the crankcase, or the fill plug to the final drives and rear end. So I'll take you around this tractor, talk about a few things first, then we'll go ahead and get into the inside. Alright, so starting with the front here, you'll see that the generator is missing. Not too big of a deal. Fan is free, which I would expect it to be. Oil bath is a little dented up, so if you're going to make this look good, you're probably going to have to replace that. It does have the magneto on it, kind of is important, saves you some cost. The pulley actually isn't too worn, which is kind of a good thing. It obviously needs a new pad or something. The clutch and all this handle does work. Otherwise, this is pretty locked up, of course. One of the lights is missing. As for wheels, let's talk about the wheels. This is one of the things that made me fall in love with it when I saw it and said I had to have it. It looked so cool. The wheels are welded together, at least the extensions from the base of the wheels. There are many clamps on it, but a lot of the clamps are either broken, especially on the other side, or missing. So if you look here, they did a weld in here, which we can separate them, save them. I've seen some clamps on the auction group sometimes come up for sale. Some of these lugs, I think I'd have to look on the other side, are welded to it, but she's rough. As for the front wheels, some of the holes are pretty egged out. And the radiator, well, the grill, of course, is missing, and that's really unfortunate. On these Ds, it's very difficult to find a nice grill. And yeah, you can see the radiator had something go through it at some point. It looks like somebody tried to slather it up and fix it. Who knows if it actually holds water or not. This is where you can see, like, on this band, it's just completely worn out. I got a bucket over the intake so water doesn't get in. It does have the carb on it, and it's completely locked up, and you'll find out why here in a moment. The sheet metal, just, I guess the only thing, what sheet metal there is on this tractor is brutal. So gas tank, here are the original holes to the tank, so your main tank and your starter tank. Well, someone, I assume the tank rotted out, and so they jerry-rigged their own tanks in here, cut a hole in, they put some sort of starter tank in there, and cut a hole here and put another tank in there. So that would require some work. As for, let's see if I can do this without shaking the camera. Might actually be frozen right now. Might have some water in it after all. I can move this back and forth, but the crank isn't, or excuse me, the pistons aren't moving, but the crank and flywheel will move. So that tells me there's some play in the connecting rods. And let's see here, these wheels, like I said, so here's an example where one of the lugs is welded on. You can see these are all broken. And yeah, I honestly don't know very much about these. The PTO shaft, yeah, it hit something hard at one point. But it does have a PTO on it. I've got the seat just laying here. Trying to think of what else really to talk about. This time, you know, the fenders are rusted. They're pretty rough. Again, this is one of those research things. I got to understand if this hole is here just because, in case there was the option for turning brakes, or if that's there for something else. Have the drawbar on it, and I noticed, I'd have to find it later, there's a crack somewhere in it. Wasn't sure if that was from us moving it or not. I wouldn't have reckoned, but anyways, so yeah, to help save the steel, I have it sitting up on boards right now. And otherwise, I think that's all we really have to say about out here. You know, it has replacement gauges on it. And I did look at the serial tag. It is a 1947. Yeah, so I guess we'll take a look inside. And this is where the interesting finds start. So here we're down in the crankcase. You can see things are kind of rusty here, not what one would like to see. I have no idea what this thing is here. It looks like an oil line that may be all chewed up. The gears are a little crusty. Looks like a mouse nest or something way down there. Obviously no oil or anything in here. So here we are going into the number 1 cylinder, and this is where some more issues lie. The previous owner had put ATF in it to try and free it up, but this cylinder's pretty rusty. Interesting, both valves were closed, but this is enough that this will prevent it from certainly running anytime soon. Not to say you couldn't get it free, but I would not want to run this engine with that cylinder looking like that. And here we are going into the number 2 cylinder, and what a contrast. First, surprisingly, the valve is open, yet this cylinder is in the best shape. There's no real rust, or certainly no pitting or anything. There's your piston. That looks fairly clean. But overall, the walls look generally okay. I can't tell if that's like dirt in there or some sort of scoring on the walls. But man, if only number one cylinder looked like this side. Here we are going down into the rear end. So you have your big drive gears here in the back. Again, no oil back here. I think we'll see some broken gear teeth here in a minute. So here again is down in the rear end, and looking at some of the gearing here. And I think I'll focus on it here in a minute, and I'll stop and show a picture, but there's some gear teeth that are ate up on the right there. Well, there you have it. To be honest, she's not in good condition at all. I would say, well, we'll see whenever I get time and she's at the top of the list to kind of take apart. We'll take it apart and see if she's worth saving. It's one of those, I know everything is worth, someone could say you can save anything, but to some extent you're replacing more parts than what's even on the original tractor. So we'll have to really see about the crankcase and the transmission and such. I get pretty scared when I see all of that rust and corrosion and broken gear teeth on the inside. You know, if it was good inside, you know, we can address the outside. But as soon as you're talking replacing everything inside, what is really staying from the original tractor? Well, we'll get to it someday, just not right now, focusing on the high crop and some other priorities. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what all you look for when you're looking at a tractor. Help me out here if there's a video or something, some sort of topic you'd like me to cover, whether it's buying, inspecting, fixing, anything like that. Feel free to reach out, leave it in the comments, or you can email me at danielfarmchannel@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Let me know what projects you guys have acquired or what you're working on. I love seeing that, and if you provide it to me, I may include it on a video as a shout out. So appreciate everyone viewing, and you all have a good day, and subscribe for whenever I'm working on this tractor. You'll see the videos, or of course, you know, my other videos that I've been working on with my A, B, and 4020. So everyone have a good day, and wish you all well.